I went through a bit of a hard time just with life, going through divorce and being a self-employed, and life just spiraled out of control, and I turned to food for comfort, and that's really what caused it.
Was it one type of food in particular?
Yeah, so you would have your comfort food, your sweets, your chocolate, your pizza takeaways, convenience foods really more so than anything is what really caused it.
And did being so overweight limit your lifestyle, limit what you could do or what you wanted to do?
Yes, of course it did. It limited my activities. My job is very sedentary, you know, so sometimes the most exercise I would get in the day would be walking around the car from a driver's seat to a passenger seat, waiting for a pupil to come in. I was an avid golfer beforehand, and even walking around a golf course was a struggle.
Morag, at what point did you decide you had to lose all that weight?
Well, I decided it's when I finished playing 9 holes of golf and I was basically on my knees, and I thought, I can't continue my life like this. If I don't do something about it, I will end up in a grave. It was as simple as that. And I took the big decision to have surgery, because at that point, that's the only way I could see out of it, was surgery. So I really was at breaking points.
What type of surgery?
I had a gastric sleeve done, which I funded myself. The NHS wouldn't really look at me to help me. So I went private with that, and within 6 weeks I was in hospital, and I had a gastric sleeve. And
what does that gastric sleeve or band do?
With the gastric sleeve, they cut away the majority of my stomach and left me with a stomach the size of a banana. Now, the stomach is a muscle, so if you overfill that again, once you start eating properly, it will grow again. So the key for your gastric sleeve is all about, it helps you with the portion control.
And so it means if you eat less, you still feel full, basically.
Yes, exactly. What it did for me actually was it made me feel full for the first time in my life. I never knew what to feel full felt like until I had my gastric sleeve.
When you had that sleeve, what did you weigh after that?
I started at 28 stone, and then I got myself down to 21 stone and 1 pound with the gastric sleeve. And then I embarked on my fitness journey.
Tell us about your mental struggles through all of this, because that must have been very hard.
Yes, well, I was on big antidepressants, big dose of antidepressants for quite a few years. And mentally, it is just hard, like anybody that suffers from depression, it's hard. But when you've got a weight issue added into it, it just, everything seems harder. Life is just harder. But starting with the fitness side of things and working with Chris, that's what really helped me. I've come off my antidepressants, and now exercise is my antidepressant. That's what I use to kickstart my day with at 5:30 every morning. And that's what helps me get through my day. So I now have no need for any other help.
Do you think your depression led to the obesity?
It was one of these situations where one led to the other. They fed off each other. The depression fed off the size, and the size fed off the depression. It was just a big circle, a vicious circle is all it was. Well, it just went hand in hand for me, basically.
You are a success story in terms of you took control of your life again. But what about the people who aren't as strong as you? Is enough done to help them?
No, there's not enough done. I'm one of the lucky ones. I helped myself to start with, and then I had a man come in, Chris, my personal trainer, that came in and really helped me. I had the right help, but without him, I would never have got down to the weight that I've got. And I just had the right help, and somebody he saw a wee bit, I don't know what he saw in my eye, I think it was a bit of madness that he saw in my eye that helped me. But there's not enough help out there for the morbidly obese. As I said to you at the very start, I funded a gastric sleeve myself because I couldn't get the help from the NHS. And had I carried on, the professor that operated on me had said that I would have been in a grave within 2 years. That's where I was headed. But I had to do it myself. The help just isn't there.
And has losing weight improved your confidence? You seem a happy and confident person now.
Yes, it has. You know, without a doubt. It's another thing. It just feeds off itself. You know, I now do things which makes me feel more confident. I started running during lockdown. We started climbing mountains during lockdown. I do things that I never dreamt I could ever do. And that feeds your confidence all the time. The compliments I get from people, you wouldn't believe. People walk past me in the street, they maybe don't recognise me now because I've lost so much weight. But when they do recognise me and talk to me, they're kind of like, oh, wow, you just look amazing. So well, you're told you look amazing enough, it's going to give you confidence. just
lastly, Morag, I mean, what advice would you give to people who are obese? I mean, most people who aren't obese just look at people who are fat, who are obese, and say, step away from the cakes. But it's not as simple or as straightforward as that, is it?
It's not as simple and straightforward as that. It's an addiction. Food is an addiction, but unlike any other addiction, you can't cut it out of your life. You still need it. So unlike alcohol or gambling or anything else, you can cut that out of your life. Food, you still need it to be able to survive. And that's where it's really, really hard. What I would say to anybody out there is go and find the right help. There's people out there that can help you, but you have to help yourself. That it has to come from within. But honestly, if I can do it, you can do it. Anybody can do it, because I'm nothing special. Wow, as I say, just a wee spark of madness behind the eyes, I think.
Well, it is a great success story. Morag Dunbar, thanks for joining us on The Agenda.
Thank you very much for having me. Thank you.